and end each day with gratitude. Today, I view the world through a lens of gratitude, and I practice it every chance I get. I look around my house and I give thanks for the warm security and love. I remember with gratitude the people who encouraged and supported me and the many opportunities that came and continue to come my way. I continuously say thank you to the persons who helped me throughout my days. I also deeply appreciate their efforts. I pause to make time for gratitude and I begin to feel my energy shift. My body responds. I am lighter, filled with new energy, brimming with hope. I choose to start each day feeling grateful for what is, what has been, and for what each day will bring. I now begin and end each day in grateful prayer. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart, and that's from Psalms 9, verses 1. In such a time where we are all in a space of self-reflection while we're on this purpose journey, the one word and feeling that continues to be at the forefront, even in the midst of healing from trauma, overcoming adversity, or just trying to be your best self, is gratitude. In such a time where we are all in a space of self-reflection while on our purpose journey, the one word and or feeling that continues to be at the forefront, even in the midst of healing from trauma, overcoming adversity, or just trying to be your best self, is gratitude, which should always be our dwelling place. Welcome to Chasing Purpose, a space where we give thanks as well as nurtured faith, pursuing aspiration, setting intention, all while living boldly. We want to thank Associate Counseling Psychologist Marlene Pottinger-Giles for being on Chasing Purpose last week, as she was such an amazing guest, sharing her great insight on trauma and the steps we can take to heal from our own traumatic experiences. In case you missed it, here is a purpose pull from last week's show.
If there is something that is going to prevent you from living life, from really reaching your purpose, then it is so important that you deal with it so that you can be the real person, the best version of yourself that you are able to become.
I begin to feel my energy shift and my body responds. I am lighter, filled with new energy, brimming with hope. After reading this, I thought it aligned with our guest for tonight. Our candid conversation continues with recording artiste Denique. She is popularly known for tracks like Make Me Believe You, Summer Love, Proud Wifey, and Supergirl. She definitely is just that. Welcome to Chasing Purpose, Denique. How are you?
I'm good, Sin. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am well. And let me just say, guys, off camera, we've been having such amazing conversations and a whole heap of laugh. All right, so before we begin, guys, I haven't said this in a while, get your journals, get your water, and let's get to this. I read your story online, and you are no stranger to trauma as you went through your own ordeal after giving birth to your daughter in March 2020. You described this moment as an eye-opener. Share what that was for us.
I never saw the white light like people always say they see the white light, when you're at death's door. But I did feel like it was a moment not to take for granted and to realize just how blessed I am.
Right.
When I was going into surgery that day, I scheduled my C-section and, I woke up feeling off, which is not usually me. My spirit was off. Everything was off. I called my mom. I called my bishop because, I have a close-knit relationship with her. I'm Christian. So, and they prayed over me, Psalm 23 all the way through, but still
Still
just
feeling something
was
in your
just
spirit.
off.
Yeah.
But I kept it cool, kept it calm. And, just after everything transpired, I went in on the table. For moms who know, a C-section is pretty quick. Your baby comes out within 20 minutes. So baby was out, but then the room, the energy in the room shifted. It just got so heavy. Everything was going great.
Right.
My nurse was amazing. I think her name was Gabby. I think.
Hi, Gabby.
And then I had so Dennis, best anesthesiologist ever. He was so tall, so handsome. But he really guided me through the process. He came to me, he said to me, listen, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to give you a spinal tap, standard procedure. Spinal tap, that's the one that lasts for 2 hours, or an hour, I think. And it starts to wear off. Standard, it goes in your back, in your 7th vertebrae, I think, or something like that. Boom. So we're good. We have that all covered. So I'm on the table now, of course, like a stretch out girl, can't do nothing. Paralyzed from my waist down, baby's out, boom, she comes out looking just like her father. Stress me out, but it's fine. It's okay. And I realized that like literally the room like went like, I swear to you, I felt it like it just shifted because everything was so good. Everybody was so happy, and then just all of a sudden it went like left.
Wow.
And then I'm there like,
yes.
okay.
Can you imagine what was going through your mind?
Girl, because I'm like this.
Yeah.
You know how it is
Can't
on a
move.
C-section.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
move. So, I'm just there looking around, but I'm noticing, especially Gabby. So I noticed that Gabby,
which is the
her
nurse.
eyes was the nurse. Gabby's eyes were terrified. Was it Jamie? Oh my God, sorry. But anyways, the nurse's eyes, her eyes were they looked like they were almost tear filled. But then I looked away because I'm like, okay, I don't want to know what's happening. But anyways, I'm there, and then Dennis comes to me, and he's putting in. So the IV was in my right hand, but he's putting in another one in my left hand, and I'm just there looking at him like, what's happening? And after he puts it in, he holds my head just like this, and he says, okay, champ, listen, we're gonna need you to just stay strong right now. You're good. You're just losing a little blood. We're going to put it back. That's all that this is. So I said, oh, okay, cool. Keeping it calm, keeping it cash.
As cash as you can.
And then, I don't know how much longer after, but I do know that I was just there trying to figure out what was happening. My doctor, the lead doctor, came to the side and seen the woman was covered in blood, like from her neck all the way down to her feet, like red, like her clothes. You don't know the color of her clothes anymore because she was covered in blood. And I'm looking at her like, keeping it cash again, trying not to freak out. And then her eyes were really red, and she says to me, you remember that paper that I had you sign earlier? And I'm like, yeah, which one of them? And she's like, the one where if I have to save your life, then I have to do what I have to do. So I said, yeah, I think I remember that. And she goes, well, that time has come. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to cry. 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 And I was like, oh, okay. What's happening? And she goes, it was placenta accreta. So my placenta got embedded into my uterus, and they were trying so hard to take it out, and it wasn't moving, it wasn't budging. And if the placenta stays inside you, you die. So she was like, I'm so sorry, but I have to take your uterus out. And I was like, okay, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
And then she goes, do you want me to tell your husband no, or do you want me to wait until later? And I'm like, no, you can call him. Bad idea. Girl, I'm walking out of the room, and it was just waterworks.
Because he walked into the trauma. The trauma. And I let it all out. And then Dennis was just there. And then the spinal tap started to wear off. Girl, I know. Yeah, the spinal tap started to wear off. I wasn't feeling pain or anything, but I started to feel the pressure of them inside my stomach. And I was just like, yo, you need to knock me out right now. You need to knock me out right now. And within seconds, I was out. Woke up at 4, felt good. So Dylan was born, my daughter. She was born at 12. And then I woke up at about 4:30, surrounded by my entire doctoral team. And, they're all looking at, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. What's good? What's going on? And that's when they told me everything. And everybody just kind of looked so sad. And I was just like, no, I'm good. I think what was happening was my doctor said the thing that she was most sad about was because I was so young. She was like, I've never had to do something like that for somebody your age. Like, that's crazy. She felt bad. And I was just like, listen, you saved my life. Correct.
And I lost 4.8 liters of blood.
Correct.
And the human body has like 5.5.
Right. So
I was like right there. And I'm O-neg.
Look. All right. So we're talking about gratitude and living in a grateful space, right?
Absolutely.
So imagine now you went through this ordeal, and your team that's around you are just completely, and you're just grateful that your life was
grateful,
saved.
Girl. And I've always been big on gratitude because it's like we're here. We wake up. Everything else to me is just noise. Yeah. Everything else is like natural human ability. But like I feel like at the end of the day, once you're you can look at things and say, okay, I'm grateful for this. This happened, but I'm grateful that I can still do this. I'm grateful that I can still do that. Gratitude is so important.
So important.
So important.
So important. Have you and your husband been able to work through that trauma?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what steps did you guys have to take?
Well, for me, the first thing I had to listen to his side. Like I had to see it from his perspective.
Correct.
Like, okay, because I knew it was different.
Yeah, because he walked in and
he
see
walked
his love.
He describes it as a war zone. That's how he described it, like a bloodbath. So we did that. And then for me, it was just that moment to get back to me, and it was crazy because since back in 2016, I decided to take a break from music because I just felt like it wasn't about me anymore. It was more about, people's expectations of me. And I felt like I had lost myself in the moment. So I took a couple of steps back and I was like, you know what, let me see what life has for me other than, because I was tunnel visioning in where music was concerned because, that's my love, that's my passion. And, after that, it was I came last to everybody else. Yeah. So it was the kids, it was my family, it was everything else was first. And then now in that moment when that happened, I was like, okay, back to me. Yeah. Back to because if I'm not okay, then nobody else can be okay. And I'm the captain of the ship, and if the captain isn't okay, then who's gonna sail the ship?
I applaud you for identifying that you were not okay.
Yeah.
In the heights of, you're an artist, you're a celebrity. In the glitz and the glamour and the demand that's on your life to create, to show up, to always be flawless, to identify that, no, this isn't feeling right for me. That's a big step.
Yeah.
That is a big step. I want to tell you, this is why, and let me not generalize here. This is just my thoughts. A lot of our orders are, a lot of our, I don't want nobody come after me. A lot of artists, celebrities, on all walks of life, do not listen, or they hear it, but they don't take heed to whatever that voice is, and they continue to push and push and push and push. And then that's when you find all these different things enter, drugs and addiction to this and to that. And so having identified it and take the step back, because even some people would say, boy, no, if I take a step back, people are going to see as me failing.
Yeah, no.
Or as me, that's brilliant. That's big, Denique. You have to be applauded for that. That is me. I'm hearing me. I'm going to protect my mental wellness before I go down this road.
I can't give you my best if I'm not at my best.
Did y'all hear that? All right, Denique, you released a track titled Champion because, guys, the champ is here. All right, which motivates and inspires others to keep pushing. Do I even have to ask, what was the inspiration behind that?
Of course, what happened to me, one, but it was more than just one thing. It was a confluence of events. It was like, I saw just everything. It was like I was looking at a spiel of my life just playing in front of me. And I was like, I want something that can depict this. And I want something that people can also use to motivate themselves, because it's so easy. Like, as human beings, we go into this state sometimes where we want to give up, where we don't feel like what we're doing is enough, where we lose faith, we lose hope. And I feel like that's the worst thing that can happen to a human being. I feel like the worst thing that can happen is when you lose hope.
Yes.
Because when you lose hope, you stop trying.
Yes.
You completely give up. So it's like you're just an empty shell, just wandering, and just doing.
Autopilot. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what Champion was about. And, I called Zoom, who is, I'm signed to Good Productions. Zoom is my manager. And I called him and I was like, yo, I want to do a song that depicts that. Not just what I went through or what I've been through in my life, but that people can also use for themselves too. If ever they're feeling down, if ever they feel like they can't make it. I remember my mom told me a story. Her mom always told her, don't listen to the noise in the market. And for pretty much anybody that don't understand patois, it's literally block out the noise.
Block out the noise. Yeah, man.
Don't listen to just tunnel vision. Focus on yourself. Focus on your path. This is your role. This is what you came to do. I said it. Know your role and stick with it. Yeah. And I said it in Proud Wifey, but when you generalize it, it makes sense. Like, this is your role in life. What's your purpose? What's your role? A lot of us don't know what our genuine purpose is, but if you continue to commit to the work, to bettering yourself, you're going to figure it out. And even if you don't figure it out at the time or
You
all
will
at once,
eventually-
you will eventually just
will.
continue to commit to the work.
Yeah,
Have
one
this
foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and I have this thing that I do where it's recognize, decide, commit, and then evolve. I feel like the only way that you can grow, and I've used it on myself for so many years, is when you recognize the issue, decide that you're going to fix the issue if it needs to be fixed, then you have to commit to doing the work. So for me, it's like 10 steps forward, 2 steps back. Oh, but I'm still 8 steps ahead.
So just to kind of tie things back in for us here who would have watched Chasing Purpose 2 shows ago, I recognized that I was going through something.
Right. You can also say acknowledge. You know, whichever one.
Right. We've acknowledged that. I've now decided to take that step. And as you said, the work is hard. And I don't even reach nowhere yet. But the work is hard. But I do believe after you begin to commit and you do the work, what I believe that evolution that you speak about, that evolution I believe is something that's going to be so beautiful. That is so beautiful because you've gone through it and you continue to. That is something that I also think that is important to recognize, right? As we go through life, as we're on this purpose journey, there are going to be things that life throws curveballs.
All the time.
All the time.
Life is the greatest teacher.
The greatest teacher.
It is.
It's
just,
teacher.
Are you paying attention to the lessons? Yes. Because they're there all the time. In the smallest instances, it's just that, are you paying attention? Are you noticing?
Yes.
And a lot of times, as human beings, we don't realize that we have the power.
I say all the time,
the
we
power
have
is in
it.
choice.
Yes.
The power is in choice. It's what you
Yes.
choose to do. You always have. So when you hear people say, "Oh, I had no choice," or "I had no other option," you do.
You do.
But with every choice comes a consequence.
Yes.
So which consequence are you willing to, really take on?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all have choice.
Yeah. We all have choice. It's another purpose, but we all have choice.
Yep.
And it as she says, it's the consequence, right? I made the choice to come here today. You made the choice to come here today.
Exactly.
And whatever happens past that, you would have made that choice. Nobody puts a gun to anybody's head to do anything. It is the we have the power.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm in love her. I don't know this girl enough, but me love her. Good love her. All right, you are described as having an awareness of self and authenticity. When I read that in your bio, y'all don't kill me for this. You know, when you do a resume, you put all these pretty words in, and the same thing I do when I see these bios, all these grand words. But I'm gonna tell you now, as she sits before me, in front of our face, behind our back, she is, in a little bit of time I spent, she is authentic. All right? But talk to us, because a lot of people do not carry themselves authentic, or they put on this persona. But like camera on, off, are cheating. Okay? But talk to us about the self-awareness, because being aware of self is very
So
important.
Oh
and
God.
even important to being authentic to yourself, because if you don't know yourself, how can you be authentic to yourself?
Right. I feel, for me, I struggled with low self-esteem in high school. And
As we
I
all
was
did.
always, So I was really, really skinny, really, really big head. I mean, my head's still big, but I've grown into my head now. Thank you, Jesus.
Girl, bye. I've seen some heads.
But no, man, maga bad. And I was a tomboy. So, of course, in high school, everybody has a boyfriend, but nobody wanted to be the tomboy's boyfriend. Everybody just wanted to be the best friend. So, I had that struggle until I went to college, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna be better. My best friend at the time, I'll never forget her. She really, really did her part in turning me into a girly girl and just really teaching me a lot. And, I had another friend at the time too, who really, really taught me a lot and really honed me as a woman. But throughout it all, I had to realize that the onus was upon me to build my own confidence. And every single time something happened, of course, we go back and forth at all the time. Sometimes we want to blame everybody else. And, we go through that emotion. I've been there. But then I got to the point where I'm like, when I can't pinpoint something, I always come back to me. Like, okay. So I'm not really blaming myself, but it's like, what did I do to help this situation become what it was? And I feel like if more people need to do that, because we all play a part in something, even if you didn't, and it's not you doing anything wrong. You didn't have to do anything wrong. But what part did you play? You know, it's like I remember I was talking to somebody and they were telling me how they got on a flight. The flight was from Dubai to New York, but they had to stop over in Germany. And when he stopped over in Germany, he missed his flight to New York. And then he started to blame the airline and everything. And then when he stepped back, he was like, no, but it's my fault because I never read my itinerary. Yes. And I was like, as simple as that is, that's so powerful because really and truly, you're so right. So you can blame the airlines all you want, but really and truly, bro, you didn't read your itinerary to see that this stopover in Germany was only 2 hours. So, you know, you had to, keep it going and keep it moving. So little things like that, I always find a way to come back to me. Like, okay, what part did I play? And then when I figure that out, I'm like, okay, cool. Boom. I feel better.
Come back to me. That's a major key in life. And I think a lot of us do not do or even realize. Because as you're saying it, I'm just like,
your brain starts to flip like a trailer.
I need to reassess. How did I play a part in this? In your brethren who missed the flight? If you just looked and said, all right, the flight, I'm going to leave from this time, whatever, I need to be at the gate. We blame everybody else and everybody else. So we do not realize that the onus is here.
You're in control.
We are in control.
You're in control.
Look it up.
Girl, listen, I went through a phase where it's growing pains. You know, we're growing through, we're figuring out who we are, we're figuring out ourselves. And I went through a phase where I wanted to tell everybody what to do. No, you can't do that. No, you can't. Because I knew I was right. I knew I had the information. I know I'm right. So why not share this? But people would always misinterpret it as me being pushy, as me being a bully, as me being, and then I realized that some people just aren't ready to hear what I have to say. And then I also realized that it's not them, it's me, because I can't control them. So if I'm in a space, so for example, if I'm in a space and there's somebody or people there that I don't want there, instead of saying, yo, you need to leave.
No, you take what you're saying.
Then I move.
You are giving me, good job. You're giving me life. You're giving me life. I'm liking what I'm feeling here. And you spoke about evolving, but how have you evolved from, let's say, from high school where you were this tomboy to where you are this beautiful person that sits before me today?
So much. I've evolved so much. I have learned so much. I take all my ups as graciously as I take all my downs as graciously as I take my ups because I feel like that's necessary. And you know, I'm not that little girl anymore, but separate and apart from what society or people deem adulthood or, you know, grown up, you know, you have 2 kids, you this and that. But for me, like, everything that I am now comes from inside because I'm doing the groundwork. I'm doing that, you know, I'm facing my traumas. I'm everything now, no matter what happens, I try to relate it back. So, I have this, I mean, I can share it. I have I had this insecurity where if I didn't know how to recognize that I was loved. I didn't know how to feel loved. So, you know, my dad said, I love you all the time. He had no problem saying I love you. My mom never said it. And my mom started telling me she loved me, I think, when I was in my 20s.
40 for me, but
there we go.
That's a whole nother show.
But even though my dad... love you, mommy. But even though my dad would always say, I love you, he never showed his affection. So my parents were not affectionate. So my parents weren't affectionate at all. And then here comes me, their baby, the last one, who craves affection. One, my sister is 6 years older than me. I think my brother is like 10 or 12, can't remember. But I wasn't planned for. I vex them did vex and did have like a makeup sex and boom, she breed. Sorry, mom.
And the champ was birthed.
And the champ was birthed. Thank you, Sin. So yeah, they didn't know how to show affection, but I craved it so much. And then because I never got this affection from my brother and sister either, you know, it was like, oh my God. So now in instances in my adult life now where I don't feel loved or I don't feel like I'm being, affection is being shown to me, I kind of jump back to that and I think, okay, be who you needed then. Now, be who you needed then now. And so I pour into myself more and I recognize like when I need something from somebody and they can't give it to me, I need to give it to myself.
Powerful. Life is being given tonight. Denique, our champion, she's giving me everything I wanted. Again, I don't know the girl from nowhere. Maybe barely know our music. Meaning because I'm an old foot. I'm a 90s girl. Soul music and them something there. But, and first and foremost, do you guys follow her on Instagram? She a bun up Instagram, by the way. But you really are, you're filling me up. And I love when the energy, when my guests give me energy and give me inspiration. So important. There's so much things that you said before you went to break that I want to unpack.
Talk to me.
Why is it important that we dwell in gratitude?
Gratitude reminds us, it's important that we dwell in gratitude because gratitude reminds us of what we have, of, I don't want to say what other people don't have, but it's not a comparison I want to make, but it's a reality. You know, yes, we all get the same 24/7. We get the same 24 hours in a day, but we all don't get the same opportunities. Right. So it's important to dwell in the place of gratitude because it's important to recognize and realize that what we have is for us. I feel like what is for you cannot be for you. Can't unfeel. Nobody can take it away from you. No. And this is why I chill. Yeah. You know, I work really hard. My work ethic is through the roof. However, I don't chase anything in desperation because I feel like when you get desperate, that's when it runs from you. Come fun you.
Because you see that chasing thing that, mind you, yes, the show is called Chasing Purpose,
but still.
But that, what offer you, not gonna lift you.
Not gonna lift you.
And that is something that I don't think a lot of us understand. We put ourselves in this position to be desperate. We put ourselves in this position where we're forgetting who we are, who our authentic selves are, because we're running down something. But when in essence, if it is for you, no matter how, if it's years down the line, whether if it's right now, it is not going to pass you. It will not pass you.
And a lot of the times people confuse hunger with desperation. There's a big difference.
And they confuse setbacks for set-ups. I believe I am a testimony, a testament that every setback, every door closed, every no,
every rejection is a redirection. Girl.
Every rejection is a redirection.
I cannot tell you how many times in my life I have heard no. There was a period like between 2018. I did a lot of TV. I love TV. I really want to get into acting.
Yes, your country is very cool. Oh,
thank you. I really want to get into acting. That's like TV is my first love.
And you should. Casa?
So there was a point, I think, Sin, it was between 2017 and 2019, where every single thing I asked for, now I was stepping outside of my comfort zone because I'm like, no, I need to do things. I need to feel like I'm doing things. I need to feel like I'm working. If I asked for 20 things, I heard no 21 times. And then I had to take a step back and realize that you're desperate right now. That's no bueno. Yeah. That's no good. Yeah. Go back to yourself. Go back to self. Figure out what it is that you're really looking for, what it is that you really want, and just put in the work where that's concerned. Yeah. Stop trying to be these other things that don't align with who you are or who you want to be. Because a lot of the times we just do things, just because we have to or we can. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have to go through that period sometimes in life where we do something because we have to do it. But when you run down something, like you said, that's not yours. Like it sure you say, yo, this is not your own, you're no happy. It's spinning you in circles. It's making you uncomfortable. It's making you upset.
Yourself.
You're losing yourself. Yeah, you're great at it, but at what cost?
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
Yeah. Look, we have all been victims of this.
Absolutely.
And this is life. You're going to be a victim of it again.
Of course.
But we go back to that word recognize.
Decide. Commit. Evolve.
And you said something that also jumped out at me a while ago is do the work. Do the work. Because even if it is for you, right? Even if it is for you, if you don't put in the work,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Faith without works is dead.
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 And block the noise.
Yeah.
Listen, me, sin, I don't see. It's no disrespect to anybody, but I don't see anybody
respectfully.
because I respectfully.
Yeah.
I am on my path. I'm on my journey. I'm in my lane. I don't have time. I have blinders on. I don't see it. And I genuinely give love to people because I know what that's like to not have love given to you or to not feel like, nobody appreciates what you're doing. Right. But separate and apart from that, I'm just genuinely happy to see people win. It's crazy. Like if me win, I want everybody to win.
There's a lot of people that don't have that mindset.
No.
I'm telling you, if
the world need balance still, we all can't win.
Right.
But no, let me correct myself.
If I am winning, if I have a piece of bread, I want to ensure that it's
other people
divvied up.
Right.
Somebody called me like a mother hen, or I'm mothering when I do that. But no, I generally want people to feel good. I want people to feel loved in my space, not just my family, but my work family. People, anybody you have an interaction with, you want to leave them feeling lighter.
You do. But you also have to be careful with that too. True. You also have to be careful because at the end of the day, not everybody has that mindset.
Truth.
And people will probably think you're doing too much or you're coming outside of yourself. So for me, I genuinely love everybody. I have love for everybody. But a lot of people, I love from a distance.
Yeah, I love you from afar.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And that's fine.
That's perfectly fine.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong.
And that's okay.
Wrong with
Just
that.
like, forgiveness. People don't understand that forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person.
Yes.
Because when them gone them bed at night time and you up a stress out, them good. They're sleeping soundly. Forgiveness is for you. However, when you forgive someone, you do not have to be their friend again. You do not have to be the same as before. Because when you go back into it, it's okay, somebody hurt you, you forgive them, but you go back into the same cycle. What do you think is going to happen?
You just have
the
to
same thing is going to happen again.
Yeah, man.
So even if you're going to re-engage in a relationship or re-engage in a friendship or whatever it may be, you have to know that there are going to be boundaries.
Boundaries. I was just going to say that. Boundaries.
Yeah.
And let's jump to that. You have love for everybody. It's what you do. You're a lover. You give love, right? Boundaries. How do we set up the boundaries? It's important, as you said, when with me being that mothering type, it's important that I identify as not always good.
Identify. There we go.
Identify.
There we go. You just said it.
Identify.
We have to know ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to be aware of self. And a lot of times people need to remember too that, I think I make it sound easy when I say things like self-love and self-awareness. We make it sound easy. It's not.
No.
It's hard. It's dark. You have to face your darkness because without light, there's no darkness. Without darkness, there's no light.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. We need balance. We need equilibrium in the world. So just like there's heaven and hell, just like there's God and the devil, all of these things, we need balance. There's up, there's down, there's back, there's forth. Now we need to always remember, sorry, I'm totally losing my train of thought. But you get me.
Yes. No, we need.
No, man, we need the balance. It's not easy. So as much as we're here talking about it, guys, it's not something that, it's just going to happen overnight. No. Get out of that mentality. Yeah. And this is why I say to commit to the work, because this is when people give up. when they commit
gets
to the
hard,
work,
yeah.
but then it gets too hard
yeah.
or something bad happens and they're like, yo, me didn't know, oh, I
Yes.
knew it. Oh, I was not supposed to do that. No, 10 steps forward, 2 steps back, you're still 8 steps ahead.
That is,
you didn't
that's
go
a
back to
major,
one.
That is a major key. It's
Yeah.
so important because a lot of us give up when things get hard.
All the time.
We give up too easy.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Like you ever see the post where the rabbit is pulling the carrot?
Yup.
Literally the carrot.
And looking at the other person.
And look at the other one. And
So
again,
focused on the other thing.
Focus on self. Focus on self. Let me
Yeah.
tell you guys something. There's no this cat's out the bag. I am a rape victim. I'm working through it. Rape victor. Excuse me.
There we go. Word sound power.
Word sound power. It's hard. Working through it is hard. It is not easy work. But because I know that something is something greater is on the other side of this,
Amen.
I'm gonna climb the mountain.
Amen.
Because you see, when I reach that mountaintop,
Girl.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But it's hard right now. I'm in the valley. I'm working it through. I'm in the dark place. But I am working it through because I know what is on the other side of that.
Oh, giving me goosebumps, dog.
When I tell you guys, my purpose soars, that healing happens for me during every show. I tell you no lie. Like I'm being as vulnerable. The past few weeks I've been very, very vulnerable. I see that as a strength. But when I sit with someone like a Denique, like I'm working through the trauma. I feel the healing. I feel the breakthrough coming. And like I said before, this work is hard. It's not easy because on top of doing the work, you have to have your everyday life. I have to come and shoot chasing purpose. I have to put the smile on my face. You know, I have to run the business. I have to be a mom. I have to be a wife. But I still have to do the work.
And it's possible.
And it's possible because like Denique said, if I'm not good,
how are you going to make sure everybody else is good?
how?
Just how?
How? All right.
No cap.
Denique, how do you nurture faith? Your faith?
I pray a lot. Yeah. You know, I have a really strong relationship with God. I have my bishop, and then I have another very faithful friend who kind of keeps me grounded, keeps me on my feet. If ever I feel like and my prayers are mostly conversations.
Yes.
So it's not kneeling down, clasping hands, closing eyes.
Yeah.
No, it's
and
literally.
I think, but not to cut you, but I think a lot of people get caught up in what that posturing should look like. Literally, it's yo God, wagwan.
My G.
Yeah.
Yo, come we talk like
Simple.
a bit.
Yes.
Because
Simple,
I don't really
simple.
understand.
Yeah.
Like just like that. That's how I talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's something that we need to. It doesn't need to be this. No, we don't just say the Lord's Prayer after every prayer. We don't know. It is just a conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
And another thing that I realize a lot of people miss too is the fact that, which was hard for me at first, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand how to do it. I'm still learning how to do it. I think I'm almost at graduation. When you pray for something, when you set that intention, you pray to God, you ask God, you got to let it go and leave it to him. You can't keep on and go back and say, yo, Maji.
Well, yeah.
So remember when we did I talk to you about last week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you're going to bring it back up, you know, you can say things like, hey, you know, I'm still flustered about this. It's still on my mind, but I know that you're in control.
Yeah.
I know that you're taking care of it.
Yeah.
I know that you got me.
Yeah.
But we can't keep checking in because prayers are, people like to call prayers wishes. However you want to describe it, it's still a prayer. It's still a conversation with God. I know people that hear his voice, a voice, God's voice, whatever it may be to them. But for me, the lessons are always his. He talks to me. I want to say it not physically, but I have to see it. It's visual for me.
For you, yeah.
The lessons are visual, and that doesn't mean just looking at the wall.
Right.
It's a situation
that you see,
that I see that plays out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's different things for everybody. And again, just like you said, it's a journey to self. It's not you're gonna wake up and this is who I am and this is no. I feel like the minute somebody says that's just who I am, you need some therapy and you need to go get sorry. Because
it's true.
We have traits, we have certain character traits that are us. But the minute you say, I hear somebody say, yo, I just summer stay, that's just how I am. Nah, B.
Yeah.
Nah. Nah. That's who you choose to be.
That's who you choose to be. Why do you think it's important to trust God's timing?
Wow. Goes back to what we were saying earlier about when you get into a desperate space. It's hard. Just like we said, everything that's worth having is hard. Yeah. I feel like if it comes to, like for me, I question anything that comes to me too easy. Too quickly, too easy. It's like, okay. And then another thing I do too is whenever something bad happens to me, I think, okay, what did I do back then? What did I do in my past to lead up to this moment? Or I flip it and say, okay, something amazing is about to happen. You know, I flip it, and then it's the same thing. If something good happens, I'm like, okay, I got to prepare myself because the balance is coming. And, you know, I have to prepare. It doesn't have to be big. It could be something small, but there's a balance that's coming to even this out, you know? So, yeah, it's just like, that's it for me. It's like, it's all about balance and trusting God's timing because it's so important to understand and developing. Well, I feel like when you develop faith within yourself, no matter what your beliefs are, it comes back to self. And, you know, your creator, if you're Christian, developing a solid relationship with God is so important.
As a parent, how do we ensure that our children are living with gratitude?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, my parenting game just started. So I would say, first thing, you need to remind them that mommy and daddy have money. You don't. You are not the money maker here. But no, more seriously, building up their relationship for our family. My family is Christian, you know, our household. So building up a relationship with God, having them pray. I think I've started because with my son, Connor, for every toy that he gets, it's every gift he gets is a toy and it's a car. So if he gets 10, I always tell him, okay, we're going to give 4. To somebody else because you don't need 10 cars. Yes. Okay, sometimes 5 are the same car. You don't need them. So we need to give back. And I think that's how, if I continue to do that, I think that will blossom into him understanding that it's important to be grateful for what you get and what you have, but you also need to give back. Yeah.
Very, very important. The give back is
because you have the capacity to. I feel like if you have the capacity to,
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. For me, the building up of the faith. The affirming them in what they're doing, like affirmations are so important. Very, very, so very, important. Very like important.
My affirmation, not even cutting you. My affirmation for today was on my hood. I look fly. I look good. That was my affirmation for today.
No, but their affirmations are so empowering, and they're so important, especially to children in this world where they're governed by not so much what's happening with their parents, but on TikTok, on Instagram, social media, like, whoo! Oh my! Your babies are just 1 and 3. You said, hold on, little. Right now, there's a TikTok campaign in my household, and a whole like, why can't I? Because my friends have. Because I am the boss of you, and we're saying no, you're not ready for TikTok, is it? Because I don't even have TikTok. I don't even know what's on TikTok. I don't even want to know. But we digress. Gratitude is something that we need to be, and being grateful is something that we need to be instilling into our children, into our friends, into whoever who don't feel that they should be grateful for what they have and where they are. I can't tell you how much times I've seen or I've said, look, or I've heard, well, I don't have this or whatever. But how about being thankful for what you do have?
Exactly.
What about what you do have?
Turn the negatives into positives.
Yes. Denique, are you chasing your purpose or have you found your purpose?
I think I'm still chasing. What I'm doing now is I am trusting myself with God's purpose for my life. Yeah. So instead of making it about me and my purpose, and I'm now trusting it to Him. Like, okay, what do you have slated for me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk in that path.
Yeah, and that speaks to this Bible verse, or is a quote, I don't remember. That let go and let God. We are so I don't know if it's hardwired to feel like we're in
Human
control.
nature.
We need to be in control. We need to. Well, if we just let go and let God,
He got you.
He got you. We have had so much fun on this show. I can't even tell you how much takes, cuts, BTS we have. Like, today was amazing. Denique, we are at the one of my favorite parts of the show. It is our epic intention cards.
Okay.
These are done by my homie Stacy Hines.
Oh, shout out to Stacy.
Yeah, Stacy's a whole mood. I love her to death. Have you seen the epic intention cards?
I haven't. I mean, I have a box of cards of my own. They're called affirmators.
So, affirmators. Oh, we have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Shuffle up the deck.
All right. Oh, yeah. Do I need to split it too?
Yeah, a card shot this.
Yo, I need a hat and a cigar. Quick and fast. Art department. Okay.
All right, you choose.
Just one?
Yep, just one. I will do the same.
Wow.
All right. You share?
Ready?
Yep.
I am grateful. I feel an uplifting sense of gratitude for everyone and everything that is a part of my life experience.
Look, yeah, I'm telling, get y'all some
energy.
Energy. Okay. I embody boldness.
Wow.
I take purpose-filled action towards the things that are in my best interest and the best interest of others, even when it may not be easy to do so. What I talk about today, guys? How putting in that work is hard.
Gratitude and putting in the work. Me that I shoot to the moon. Oh,
Denique, you are light.
thank you. A
You
little bit of darkness.
We all have a little bit of darkness. You're bold.
Thank you.
You're authentic. I can see the love, and I see such brightness in your future. I look forward.
you.
I will now follow and be. I'm now a fan.
Appreciate you.
No man, your energy is infectious. God seeing, though. You've been a blessing.
Thank you, Sin.
Where can everybody find you?
Well, I don't really like to be found, but But if you want to check me out, I'm on Instagram at @Denique, TheDenyque. Check out my Vivo. I just dropped a new video produced by Emudio called Pretty. My new song.
And the visuals are dope.
Visuals are really dope. Styled by Bootleg Rockstar, shot by Busway and Bling Blang Work.
Nico, big up yourself.
Big up, Nico. My video for Champion is dropping pretty soon. Champion is produced by the home team, Good Productions. And of course, run up the views. It's Denique Vivo, youtube.com/Denique Vivo. And whatchamacallit, I think that's it. Just stay tuned. Yo, whole heap of new music coming, whole heap of good vibes. You guys are gonna wanna stay tuned for what's about to pop off.
Denique, thank you for sharing space and time with us this
Thank you
evening.
too.
An attitude of gratitude determines the quality of life that we will live or enjoy. Be intentional about expressing gratefulness every day. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Before we leave, I just want to give our thoughts and our prayers to all of our sisters and brothers over in Haiti. Our prayers are with you. God bless and good night.